What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, PIPERBOY Williams. I tried to talk to you guys about this before, but we were having technical difficulties. Plus, you know what I'm saying? When I look up and I see 1,000 people in a room, I dip. You know what I'm saying? No, but it is what it is. DAYLYT, the battle that's supposed to go down on Rare Breed Entertainment between DAYLYT and Los is canceled. For one reason or another. We're seeing what DAYLYT is doing out here. Like he's kind of, he's putting out a lot of information. He's putting out texts that he sent to ARP. He's been on, radio stations talking about this situation and how he feels about it. You know what I mean? And basically, DAYLYT's to the point to where he wants to battle King Los, but he feels like, he's getting shaded because he didn't even know that he wasn't, battling King Los from the source, from the league. He finds out from Los, you know what I mean, that, the battle was canceled. So DAYLYT's feeling some type of way. And he's kind of going on a media storm, like kind of trying to bring attention to the situation to try to put pressure on the league to either keep the battle booked or to make the league reach out and give some sort of clarification on what's going on with the battle. Now, people were kind of pissed off at me, like, yo, PIPERBOY, why aren't you talking about this like you talked about the URL situation? And how I'm looking at it is, first of all, DAYLYT, we got to take what DAYLYT is doing, with a grain of salt, just because of the past history that we had, that he's had, hitting people with the no-show, like what he did with the URL situation, making light of it. And some of the things that he's been doing, you don't necessarily know whether or not DAYLYT is telling the truth or whether or not DAYLYT is lying. You know what I'm saying? So I've got to take what he's saying with a grain of salt. And plus, I caught a couple of inconsistencies with DAYLYT's story when he was talking. So I didn't want to just rush out and really just do a blog and have it stand. But I did talk to you guys for a second just to tell you like how I felt about it. Basically saying like, you know what I mean? This is not the same situation. As soon as the battle was stopped or it didn't happen, Rare Breed Entertainment, they came out publicly on Twitter and then they made a post basically saying that they're not going to be having like, you know what I mean, DAYLYT versus King Los. They actually put out a post informing you guys that had the video with the new opponent, which is going to be Head Ice. Me personally, I think Head Ice will probably make for a better battle. And the only reason I'm saying that is because he may show up and give you 3 rounds versus, DAYLYT, where you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And then there's a situation that we're finding out that DAYLYT was supposed to send in a trailer and then he didn't send in a trailer. So now with all of this, you get, people are kind of feeling some type of way, like, should we risk this event on somebody that, Rare Breed may be feeling like it's not honoring like the contractual agreement. Now, sometimes like a contract can be verbal, and, ARP, like kind of in a post on Twitter was saying that, just sometimes things can be verbal, it doesn't necessarily have to be in writing. So I'm kind of looking at this whole thing as maybe DAYLYT was supposed to, come through with, like, and fulfill his obligation by having a trailer, and maybe, you know what I mean, he didn't like really fulfill that. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to just rush to just take DAYLYT's side, because you really don't know, like, in this situation. And when the league puts out a post, they put out a video immediately, and they kind of let you guys know, yes, we're going to be pissed off. We're going to be, upset that the battle that was supposed to happen is not happening. But at the same time, we got to be realistic. Like, they let you know ahead of time. It wasn't a blogger, putting pressure out, to make different media sources, that are controlled by a league say something. You know what I mean? It's kind of a different situation. So ARP, he goes out and he puts out a post on Twitter. He says, salute to all of our supporters. To be clear, there will be no blog, no interview, no public dance. Anything you can say can and will be used against you. And the ... You know what I mean? Court of law, basically. And then he goes on to say, we said before, we are willing to go to certain levels to protect RBE, and we certainly did. Hashtag legal level, hashtag RBE. So this is telling me that RBE on this post is basically taking, this dude to court. If you read between the lines, obviously DAYLYT's not going to be on the card. DAYLYT's been going public. He's been saying a lot of things. He's putting out private conversations as he supposedly, had with ARP, or at least messaged ARP, and, divulging like information. So maybe, Rare Breed's to the point to where they feel like they may have to make a public stance. We know that ARP back, I think it was like in Clean Paper, like dubbed the battle with Gems. I think it was at that time ARP said that he was going to take, clean paper to court, and people are kind of still wondering whether or not that's a situation that was still going to happen. But it seems like that's been resolved. I haven't heard of clean paper going to court, but I know that that was threatened at one point in time when clean paper didn't show up for the event. You know what I mean? But now I'm seeing this post, basically an ARP saying salute to all the supporters. To be clear, there will be no blog. So all of you guys that's waiting for a blog for ARP, you know how he does them. And if he's going to do a blog, it's probably going to take a long, lengthy time for him to do it. But he's basically saying that there's no blog. He said no interview, no public dance. He's not going to be going back and forth with nobody. He said anything you say can and will be used against you. We said before we were willing to go to certain levels to protect RBE, and we certainly did. # legal level, # RBE. So that tells me that he's ready to go to court. Also, he's responding to, somebody on Twitter who says when you have a solid reputation, that will overstand any sort of tomfoolery. Good luck with your event. And then ARP goes on to say RBE reputations posed to. It's not even a question. Any lies or trolls have been documented recently and historically. So that tells me if he's taking this dude to court, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of looking around at what's going on in the media. He's probably looking around on what DAYLYT's saying. He's, aggregating, or he's compiling like what he feels like he needs to be compiled to go to court. You know what I'm saying? I'm just reading between the lines from his post, what's been going on, and it seems like he's taking him to court. Then the person goes on to say, let me rephrase, your reputation as a man and a brand is so intact that no one was buying the BS. # support RBE. And then ARP, he goes on to say, everyone loves a story, especially a controversial one, but we are not playing that game. # legal level. The culture needs to see a platform take this stand. So that tells me, and not so many words, you know what I mean? Even though there's words, listen to me. This tells me that ARP is ready to take it to court. You know what I'm saying? He wants to do the legal thing. And I think this is probably his way of maybe turning the tide on from what he believes. I'm not saying he's right. I don't know the whole situation. You know what I mean? Even though I'm taking what DAYLYT's saying as a grain of salt, DAYLYT can be telling the truth about this whole thing. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But what would propel a person that's always known for doing good business to get into a situation to where now he wants to take him to court? You know what I mean? Is it maybe DAYLYT's lying, making ARP look crazy, making him look bad, making him liable? You know what I'm saying? To have tons of people making blogs, you know what I mean? Like, running down his events. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because if DAYLYT is not telling the truth of exactly like what happened, that could like propel like a bunch of people to start blogging on this and putting a lot of negativity like on like the actual event. So I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comment section below. But in my personal opinion, I feel like ARP has reached a certain point in battle rap to where he's worried about his respect. He's worried about his reputation. And if you guys follow, the laws of power, one thing you want to do is protect your reputation at all costs. You know what I'm saying? And we know that ARP kind of follows the trend of the laws of power. I don't know if he's doing it, purposely, or if he's just like in a situation where he's just that smart and he knows like how to maneuver and how to move. But I think he's going to stop at nothing to, protect the reputation of RBE. That's what I think. So DAYLYT, if you messing up, you know what I'm saying? Like you better like come clean about it, because this could get ugly. Or if you're telling the truth, stand by your word. It's all up to you. At the end of the day, and the only people that know what's really going on is King Los, ARP, Rare Breed Entertainment, and DAYLYT. At the end of the day, somebody goes ahead and they writes, the fans deserve to know, whether it's now or in the near future. It's not really a good look for everyone the way this is played out. And then ARP goes on to say, you're right, not a good look. And certain situations will not play out publicly. Maybe one day in the future, but right now, # legal level. And we're going to stand on that sturdy and take this extremely seriously. In the meantime, we went out of our way to ensure a match remained on RBE on August 18th. So y'all take that for how y'all want. You know what I'm saying? I apologize for, doing this kind of like in a podcast manner. I was going to, do like a whole lengthy drawn out blog showing you guys everything visually, but I'm kind of in the middle of doing a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? So I wanted to talk to you guys like this. There probably will be, maybe one more blog like this, but the rest of them will be visually. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Come rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. It seems like to me, that DAYLYT may end up going to court over some of his trolling. You know what I mean? Like, but the weird part about it is that this kind of seems like DAYLYT may actually want to take this battle seriously, but the past that he had, leading up to this point is now, making it to where people are kind of like they don't trust him. Like when you got an event this is supposed to be the best event, of the year from this particular league, you got to think about it. Is it worth them taking a chance, spending, after it's all said and done, like $4,000 on somebody that may come up there and, pull an antic on somebody that's supposed to be an MC and they want to see a thorough battle, or, somebody that may come up there and do something like he did with Mickey Fax on I think it was the King of the Dot, to where he just really didn't even try to beat the opponent. He just got up there and he just played around. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe DAYLYT he was planning on doing, what he was supposed to do, but I think his past has finally caught up to him. You know what I mean? Now, when you got a contract, verbal or, a paper and you sign it and you tell somebody that you're supposed to deliver, that you're going to be delivering, like whether or not you're going to try to promote the battle, or whether or not it's just like a trailer that you're going to send in. If you say you're going to do something, you probably need to do it. You know what I mean? Because right now we're seeing situations to where these cars are getting shaky, and battle rap is unfortunately like a sport to where people do cancel, or people do things that end up, hurting the culture, and we end up losing battles. So on the end of Rare Breed Entertainment, should they have allowed DAYLYT to still stay on the car, even though he didn't send in a trailer, or even though he didn't, in their eyes, like fulfill the obligation? I'm just reading between the lines. I could be wrong, but from what I'm reading from ARP's tweet, his tweets, it seems like he's kind of had it up to his neck in the bullshit that's going on with the DAYLYT situation, on what he's saying out in the media. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Come rate, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about that. Peace.